Everybody, it's Justin Whitehair. I've got Tyler with TapTag on this webinar. He's going to actually go through their products, what they have to offer, kind of go over the features with this. This is a product that I've been using for the past few months, actually since our convention. I had several people at convention compliment how cool it was, that people could literally just tap their phone to my business card. It also saved me a lot of money because I'm not constantly buying those flimsy business cards that people put in a wallet and then they lose it when they get home. So I absolutely love the product. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Tyler. And Tyler, if you want to go through this stuff, I'll let you share your screen and kind of go through that as well if you want, or however you want to do that.
Yeah, I didn't really come up with an exact way to go about this. I guess if we want to, I have a couple of products around me. I could kind of just break it down for you real quick, exactly what we are, what we do. Essentially, this is like a new age business card. So how we used to do it, we hand over a business card and they throw it in their car, cup holder, and then they never use it again. And it just ends up being wet by some coffee they had the next day. This is an idea. I used to be in sales. I ran a corporate job. I was in sales. I gave away hundreds of thousands of business cards and I never got calls back. And it was just, one of those things. So I tried to come up with a way that I'm actually the owner of TapTag, by the way, just so you know, I'm not just a sales guy. I run the whole business. And the reason why I came up with this is so we could stop giving away business cards, because we've been doing that for hundreds of years and it's old. It doesn't work. We need a new way to break the ice. So essentially what this is, it's a reusable business card. And because of that, I have, metal ones, I have wood ones, and it has an NFC chip in the back of it. And the last 4 generations of phones work with NFC. So if you think about it, that's pretty much when Apple got rid of the home button on their phone, when they came, full screen. That's when they introduced NFC natively to the phone, which it's always on. So now all you have to do is turn your screen on and tap it to an NFC enabled chip or a payment reader or anything like that, and NFC will work. So this is a newer technology. And with that, obviously there's some challenges and stuff that Justin was mentioning, similar to, I always, compare it to connecting to the internet in the 90s. Internet's this big, great idea, but it's, a couple extra steps to connect to it because it's a newer technology and we're still in the early adopter phase. So that's kind of where we are right now. Luckily, it's the last 4 generations of smartphones that work. So not many people, they say about 6% of the population still have a phone older than 5+ years. So every day people are upgrading their phones and this is becoming a new thing. And I'd say in 2 more years, 100% of people will have phones that work with these, which is great. But we also engrave a QR code on the back of it. So if you've ever been to a restaurant in COVID times, you'll know the QR code you could just scan and it goes right to their menu. NFC is the same way. You can tap and it goes right to the menu. It's the same exact thing. But just to play it safe, we like to engrave a QR code on back of the cards as well, just in case you encounter somebody with a iPhone 7 still, like my dad, for example. My own father has an old phone. And a QR code is great because a QR code works with all phones. So because we're still in that early adopter phase, it's good to have both NFC and the QR. NFC is cool because it works like magic. So a lot of people don't even know this exists. So when you say, hey, take out your phone real quick, just tap your card to it. Most people are like, what are you talking about? This is the craziest thing. And when their phone responds to it without them having to download an app, without them having to do really anything, all they have to do is wake the screen. When their phone responds to it, they have like that wow factor moment, like, holy crap, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And now as an icebreaker, that's a great, if you're in sales, if you're in business, if you're in anything, it's a great way for people to be like, to set you aside. Like, wow, I remember that guy. I remember Justin Whitehair. He showed me that cool card. He's way different from the other 10 salesmen that gave me their paper card that I haven't even looked at. The other cool thing with NFC, you could program multiple things into it. So I could, maybe I'll give you an example here. I didn't program this card. So a couple of things. We use the power of the internet. So TapTag has open sourced chips, meaning you could program anything into it. There are competitors out there that have essentially the same product that we have. However, you're forced to use their app with their branding and their stuff all over it. So it's not exactly very salesy when you're trying to relay your own information and then their brand logo is all over your business card, essentially. So because our cards are open source, you could program multiple different things into it. With that being said, the best thing is if you've ever heard of Linktree, Linktree is basically your own personal landing page where you could add up infinite amount of links. You could throw your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your phone number, your profile, your website, as many things as you want all on your custom landing page. You could change the background color, you could add a profile picture, essentially do anything that you want. And personally, I think that's the best option, but there's also another option as well where you could put your contact card into it. So if you ever shared a contact via text message, you know, you ask a coworker, hey, can you send me Joe Schmo's contact info? And they text it to you and you hit it, it opens up like a contact card that's all pre-filled, and you have the option to save it from there and save it into your contacts. These cards do that exact same thing without having to text it. So you could program your contact info into the card. So if you meet somebody new, tap the card, that pre-filled contact screen will pop right up on their phone natively without them having to download an app or anything. They'll just do it right then and there. And they have the option to save it into their contacts or just view it and exit out of it, whatever they choose to do. So our products, everything we offer that's the foundation of the technology. So the most popular product is the NFC business card. We have metal options, we have wood options, plastic, all ranging in price and different things, but they all do the same underlying thing with NFC. We also have keychains, and another popular product as well. We sell sticky NFC tags, and they're durable enough to stick to the back of your phone. So instead of having to go in your wallet and take out your NFC card, which is pretty cool, now it's always on you on your phone, and people could just tap their phone to the tag on your phone, and it does the same exact thing, downloads your information right into their phone. All of our products have that as the foundation. We have the like NFC plaques where, you know, you put like a song thing on it, you tap it, it plays the song on your phone. We have coasters using the power of the internet. There's an NFC chip in the back of the coaster. When you tap the coaster, it'll generate a random cocktail with directions on how to make it. So you have guests over, you have different cocktails, tap it, it's like, oh, cool, this is how you make a Moscow Mule. So NFC has a lot of different uses in the world. And where it came from is people used it for warehouse sorting. You know, they stick an NFC tag to like a pallet and it tells you its contents of the pallet. And we really repurposed it and put it in a more business aspect. So with that being said, that's pretty much all of our products. Justin, did you want me to go over how to program the cards, or how deep did you want me to go into this if you're still there?
Yeah, you can do that. I'll just cover just a little bit on that part just to show you, because I was just looking at their website. I know you got a quick video just on there for anybody that wants to see. I can show real quick because I know it's less than a minute anyway. But this is exactly what it is. And like I said, I've got a lot of compliments. You see how quickly that was. And it does vary, which is what my issues that I was having at convention when I actually used the card was I didn't know where really to tap it on the device. I did not know where the reader was on the mobile device. And I talked to Tyler, and he told me, you know, on an iPhone, it's more toward the top backside of the phone. On an Android, it's more toward the middle. And since I started doing that, I wasn't having issues with doing any of the tap tag. And I'll be honest with you, this was, if y'all can see me on that part. Oops, stop sharing here. If you can see on my screen, this was my original card that I ordered. It was a black metal card. I was really happy with it. Thought it was really clean looking. It had the NFC reader kind of in the back. You can kind of see where that is. But when I placed my recent order, Tyler recommended actually going to a white card. And I ended up going to a white card. I actually added my logo to the front of it for Destinations by Justin for my travel page. And then because I know not everybody has that NFC reader, I did go ahead and elect to have the QR code put on the back as well. So that's kind of how my card works. And I've got several compliments from it because it's so unique and it's so much, it's just easier. And like Tyler was saying, I don't use Linktree. I use solo.to. And we actually have a training with them I've got scheduled for the 27th at noon Pacific Standard Time. They're going to talk to you how to do that. But that's exactly what mine does. And then it brings people for whenever you tap it, I'll show you with that too. It brings you to my solo page, which looks like this. And this is my solo page. So this is what my contacts will see. And you see the very first option is add to contact. And if you do this on a mobile phone, it automatically tries to save your contact information right into your phone. And then I have my social media. I have booking your next vacation. I have Disney, sandals, Viator, becoming an agent, how to create your bio link. And then I also have the order and the business cards as well. So I really like this. I think this is very professional, very clean. I've got a lot of compliments on that part. So but yeah, so what's nice with the NFCs, and I'll let Tyler talk because he's more familiar on that, is you can't unfortunately change the QR code, which makes sense because it's already engraved on the device. But you can, if you elect just to do the NFC, you can change that website at a later date. And I actually did that because I used a different bio page before that I was not happy with, and I ended up changing it. So I'll let Tyler kind of talk a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, so what Justin was saying, there's probably 50 or 60 of those types of websites that I'm familiar with, and customers keep telling me of new ones I find out on a weekly basis. Linktree is definitely the most popular one, and it's because it's the most easiest. It's literally copy paste the link, and that's it. Solo.to, as you can see, Justin's page is absolutely beautiful. You could add countless different things, and I saw you could book a vacation and do all this crazy stuff on there. Those are definitely more advanced ones, and if you choose to use those, you could program that's what I was saying. Our cards are open sourced. So you could program anything you want. Even if you want to just do just your own personal website or just your own personal Instagram, you could do that. Or you could do solo.to, what Justin was showing you, and consolidate all your information. Because the issue is not even an issue. NFC can only hold so much. NFC doesn't take any electricity. You don't need to charge it. You don't need to do anything. It's just a chip that's standalone. And essentially how it works is your phone relays energy to the chip enough to power it temporarily for it to relay information back to you, kind of like how your Easy Pass works when you go into the bridge. It doesn't take batteries or charging or anything. But because of that, we're limited to how much memory it could store. So we are limited to just being able to put essentially about 40 characters worth of data on there, just 40 letters essentially. And the good news is any link is essentially 40 characters or less. So his solo.to link / Justin Whitehair or whatever it may be is definitely enough to put on the card, and it's going to link to infinite information, to an infinite amount of links or anything like that. So it's kind of like a workaround how we get over like the data capacity of the cards. Trying to think what else you were saying. There's a couple different, I'll show you mine real quick. So he uses solo.to. I like, there's another site called Contact in Bio. It's loading right now on here. And pretty much the same thing. It's highly customizable. You could change the buttons on there, the background, your profile picture, anything you want. Oh, the thing I wanted to mention about the QR code. So the cool thing that I don't know if Justin went over, if you have a QR code, he was right. Once you have a QR code, it's how computers read like a sentence. It's like us reading a sentence. You can't change where it goes to. However, if Justin, because he linked that QR code to his solo.to page, he can now change anything on that page that he wants over time whenever he wants, because that link, that QR will always go to that landing page. And because it's working as a middleman, he's able to now take off his Instagram and add another Instagram on his page if he wanted to. He can't change it from his solo.to to say Linktree, for example, because that's the downfall of QRs. But the cool thing is with NFC, you can change that. If you wanted to go to solo.to to Linktree, you could change that right now. Just using a free app on your smartphone. It takes about 60 seconds or less. I have all the directions laid out on my site with videos and pictograms and pictures and everything you need. And here, let's see if this thing loaded yet. Did not load just yet. I have no Wi-Fi in this room. It's really frustrating. All the Wi-Fi is being sucked up by the Zoom call right now, so I have no Wi-Fi on my phone. But
do you want to put your that link in the chat and I can just open it up and share the screen?
Yeah, absolutely. I could do that. Let's see what we got here. So I'm going to send you 3 different things here, actually, because I have them all consolidated right next to each other. Chat. So here's 3 different things that are popular that my customers add to their cards. And solo.to is another one, and I could provide you a million more. But these are all tap tag pages that we made just for free that you could show that these are free things that you could do. This is a free service. All you have to do is sign up with your email. They don't even send you anything. It's not a subscription. The first one is Contact in Bio. That's the one I want to show you. That's a highly customizable landing page, just like Justin's. Honestly, I like his better than this one, but it's essentially the same thing. You could add your PayPal, you could add your Venmo, pretty much anything you want. And even at the bottom, there's a contact box. So you'll get an email from Contact in Bio saying this person messaged you. It'll open up Facebook Messenger, all that stuff. It's great. The second one I sent on there, you don't have to click it, Justin, because it's a V card. It'll download into your computer. But if you were on a smartphone and you click it, it'll open up that preloaded contact card ready to save, similar to what was already on Justin's profile on the solo.to. And the last one was just Linktree, which is essentially the same thing. The reason why I like Linktree the best, when you're working with the general population, it's by far the easiest to use on the planet. You just sign up and you just keep copy pasting your links and it does it all for you. You don't have to worry about changing the background or anything. This is the most simple it gets, and it's just great for working with, everybody. And it does the same exact thing. You could download your V card, you could do anything you want on there. But what I was saying was that possibilities are endless. If you wanted to link to a random cocktail generator, like I said with my coasters, you can. Like I've had a customer who puts a business card, he tapes it to the wall of his business, and every time you tap it, it goes to a random inspirational quote generator. So when you enter his business, you'd be like, hey, just tap that and you'll get a random inspirational quote. It's pretty cool. And that's really it. So I'll break down how to program it real quick, just to show you how simple and quick and easy it is. So I have to do it on my phone because your computer, believe it or not, your nice, expensive, beautiful computer doesn't have an NFC programmer, but your smartphone does, which blows my mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a link that I have. So that link that Justin just clicked on, that contact and bio link, all I did was copy it. That's it. So copied the link. Then you're going to download an app called NFC Tools, which is right here. I have it downloaded. It's orange. It's ready to go. Just click on that and it opens to a very basic front page. And these directions are on my site. I have videos and everything where you just follow it. It's about 7 steps and it takes less than 60 seconds. So once you get to this page, the first page of the site, you want to click write, which is the first thing, or the second option there, but it makes sense. You're writing a chip. It makes sense to click that one. So this brings you to an empty page here. And you're going to do add a record, because we're telling the computer, your phone, to do is to program a record into your chip. So you do add a record. And this is the part where everybody gets confused. And this is a third-party app. This is not a TapTag app, so we have to work with what we got here. There's a million different options, because the cool thing, what you could program into NFC chips is a million different things. You could program your Wi-Fi info. You could program your location info. You could program a Bitcoin address, Bluetooth, where you tap, it connects to your Bluetooth automatically. However, smartphones, not all smartphones will accept all these options. For example, the Wi-Fi option is probably by far the coolest. Program your Wi-Fi username and password into the chip. And if you have an Android phone, you could tap your Android phone to the chip and it'll automatically connect to your Wi-Fi. Apple doesn't like that because they're all about security. They don't like their phones automatically connecting to anything within radius of an NFC chip. Because technically, if you're out in public and somebody brought an NFC chip near your phone and it connects automatically, you could see like a security issue there. So there's all these cool options. The only one that works on all phones guaranteed is the one that's just called custom URL. It's the third one down. And all this is a web link. Just like you're sharing, your Facebook with your mom, you copy paste your web link and send it to her. This is essentially what we're doing. So all I'm going to do, there's only one single text box. We're just going to paste that link right in there and hit next. So now you see I have one record here that was originally blank. So we're going to program this one thing into the chip and that's it. So all we did was open the app, hit add a record. We pasted our web link into the text box and hit next. That's it. We're 4 steps in. So now all you're going to do is hit write. You'll see a dialog pop up here saying approach NFC chip. So all we're going to do is take the back of the card where there's an NFC chip, tap it to here. You see a check mark. We're good to go. The chip's programmed. That's it. That's all you do. And now if you have any compatible phone, which is essentially any phone in the last 4 years, all you're going to do is wake your screen and you tap the chip to the card and you'll see a notification pop up for my thing. My face is in there. So let me unlock it with my face. And it's going to go to my thing, assuming I had Wi-Fi. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's those 5 or 6 steps with a free app. It takes 60 seconds or less, and then you program your chip right into the card. We engrave all these cards, so it adds an elegant feel to it. You could feel the engraving. It's adenized aluminum, which basically means this black coating is infused molecularly with the aluminum under it. And what we do is we take a laser and cut the coating off of it to expose the aluminum inners. And that's how you get the graphics on the card. So it's always like a silver. We also have brass cards where the inner core is made of brass, which gives you a more gold look. And yeah, we can engrave a QR, we can engrave your logo, we can engrave your name, we can engrave essentially anything we want, edge to edge on the card, front and back. The only thing we can't touch, there's a chip centered on the back. I don't know if you can see it here. Let me take it out of its little case. There's a chip in the back that is plastic. You can see it in the glare. Ironically, metal blocks NFC. So we can't scan from the front of the card. It's only the exposed side because it has to be exposed to emit waves, because this side, the metal's blocking it. It's actually, you could call it a security feature, because if you put it in your wallet backwards where the metal side is exposed to the outside world, nobody could scan your chip if they wanted to. It is protected. So the chip does have to be exposed, and we can't engrave the chip because it will just melt. So we don't want to do that. Other than that, all of our products work exactly the same way. We have our sticky tags, which essentially just stick to the back of your phone or stick to your counter, stick to your forehead, really anything that you want. It's the same steps. You program this. And the cool thing is that last step where we hit right and to program the chip, you can repeat that final step a million times. So once you do all the dirty work of copy pasting your link and get to the last screen, you could hit right, tap your chip, hit right again, tap your card, hit right again, tap this. And now you could program things in less than 5 seconds, infinitely. If you wanted to change the data on the chip, all you have to do is repeat the steps from scratch. You open the app and you paste the new link, and it'll overwrite whatever's on your chip. So if you want to change from your link tree to your solo.to like Justin had, it's that easy. It just takes those 5 steps. Other than that, there's trying to like look around for more products I could show you, but it's all the foundation of NFC. It's all the same stuff, just in different things in different forms. So did you want me to go over anything else, Justin, while I'm here?
Sure. So we'll probably do some questions. I know one question, I was trying to watch the chat box somewhat as well. So one of the questions that was asked was regarding our organization. So we're part of a host agency for our travel. And I know typically on business cards, we actually have to put an affiliate of Archer Travel, which is the bigger company name that we're affiliate with. However, keep in mind, this is actually directing people to a website essentially. So this is not going to be directing them to a paper business card. So just like your websites that y'all build, you don't necessarily put on those websites an affiliate of Archer Travel. Those are only on those paper business cards. So I don't think you have to worry about that there. If you wanted to, you could still incorporate something with one of those bio pages. So like solo.to would be the company I would work with on making sure I have something incorporated there. Because with Tyler's product, with Tap Tag Shop, that is just the business card, creating those NFC readers on that part. So basically, when you go to place an order through his shop, it's going to ask you for your contact information, but it's going to ask you what website do you want Tyler and them to actually send people to with that NFC card. So you're not going to have to program these on your own to begin with. That's only if down the road you decide, hey, I had it directed to this website, now I want to change it to a different one. So it's going to come already pre-designed on that part for you. For an example with mine, I ordered mine with a former bio page, and down the road, I decided I did not like that bio page. I like solo.to better. Tyler has Linktree, and that's what he likes better on that part right now. So later on, I decided to change it. However, when I initially placed my order, my card was ready to go. It was good to go. It came in the mail and so forth. So just keep that in mind with this product. So Tyler's product's great if you already have that website. And if you don't have that website, then that's something you'll need to look at doing first, is making sure that you have that, so that whenever you order the cards, that they are pre-made and it's all done and everything.
Right. And if you don't have a website, which is, I'd say if 10 people ordered right now, 8 of them would give me a website that we pre-program into the card. So that way it works when you open the box, but about 2, maybe 3 of them don't have anything yet, or they don't know what to do. We always program the directions onto the chip. So when it arrives, you just tap the card and it'll give you the directions on everything I just showed you on how to program it. You just follow those steps and you can put anything on it if you want. I'm going through the questions here too. So privacy, that's another one. So it's only going to direct to a website. So like I was saying, if it's in your wallet, technically somebody could come by and scan it if they wanted to, but also most people don't even know this technology exists when you show them the actual card, let alone knowing that the technology exists and it's in your pocket, and they're going to walk by and have their phone on and NFC ready to go to scan it. But it is just like leaving a business card on a Starbucks table. How much damage could that possibly do? If anything, it's a lead for you. So as far as privacy, you have to be within 2 inches of the chip to scan the info on it with a smartphone that is on. So that's pretty hard to do. I can't think of that many people that are within 2 inches of my pocket, without my knowledge, at least, with their phone ready to go, knowing I have a chip in my pocket. But But like I said, I wouldn't put any like super personal information on your personal landing page there on the solo.to page or anything like that. It's really just your work information and, you know, how much can they do with your work phone number and a work email. In terms of the download of the app, because I saw how is the privacy of the app you download. That's a third-party app, so I can't really speak too much for them. But all you're really putting into the app is the link to your page. You're not putting any personal information in. You're not putting in your name, your email. It's really just that one link, and it deletes when you close the app. So the fact that I turned my phone off, put it down, the app already closed itself, and I would have to start from scratch anyway. So I doubt it even saves any information whatsoever on there. How much do the cards cost? How many cards does an individual need? So the card's reusable. That's what it's designed to do. And the cards, we were trying to reflect the cost of a box of business cards. So if you want to Vista print right now and ordered yourself 200 cards, it costs about $45. A single metal card, it starts at $35, and you have free text included, or sorry, 37. We had just had USPS raised all their prices for shipping. So unfortunately, we did have to raise our prices slightly. So it's $37.95 starting, and you get that text that's on there for free. You can add any text, any font that you want on there for free for that $37.95. If you wanted to add a logo, it's just a $10 upcharge to add a personalized logo, and we'll do all the work for you. Even if your logo is semi-low quality, or you took a picture of your business card, and we could convert that into an image for you, and that's included in that $10 price. To add a QR code to the back, just because it's a lot of machine work and we have to pretty much redo everything, it's just an additional $5. And these are all of our cards right here. We have and yeah, that's cool. We added that effect recently where you hover over and it shows you a different image. But the brass card, you can see, has a more goldish look to it. The silver card, the aluminum has a silver look, and then we have wood, which that's engraved into the wood, so that's burned into it. And then the plastic cards are full color because we are able to print on the plastic. We wish we could print on the metal, but it scratches right off after 3 days, so we can't do that, unfortunately. We researched a lot of ways to try to get color on metal cards. There's just no possible way because it's matte, smooth, and nothing sticks to it as much as we want. But yeah, all these cards work exactly the same. The metal cards, the chip is on the backside, so the chip will only work on the backside. The wood and the plastic cards, the chip is inside of it. So both sides, you can't even see the chip at all. It just looks like your normal average card until you hold it up to a flashlight. You can see the chip wirings inside of it, or hold it up to a phone and it'll work automatically. And if you scroll down a little bit more, the next one was you could customize your own tap tag as well, which our original tap tag where we started was the one that sticks to your phone, which is right there. You stick it to the bottom of your phone and it's always on you. It's always ready to go. It's durable enough to last you as long as your phone case lasts. It doesn't really scratch. It's waterproof. It's always there. And we have a lot of bulk deals if you wanted to get 5, 10, 15, 20. But going back to the initial question, all you need is one. It has infinite scans. There's no subscription, no anything. You buy it once, you stick it to your phone, and it will always direct to wherever you want it to whenever a compatible phone connects to it. And the black tag is where we started. That was the initial idea that we had, and we've grown so much from there. We have like 30 different products now, which is pretty cool. Other than that, let me see if there's any questions in here. Justin, if you have any questions for me, feel free. These are only usable for in-person, correct? Yes. However, what you program into the card is just, for Justin's example, that solo.to link. You could share that via text message, via email. You could put it in your email signature if you want, and you could program it onto the card. The reason why the card is cool is because it adds an extra like ice-breaking effect to a conversation. It's not just like, here, let me text you my info. It's here, look at this elegant metal Amex style card, because it feels like an Amex credit card. If you ever felt like the black card or the Chase Sapphire metal card, that's the feel of it. With your personal information engraved, that's the ice-breaking effect of like, look at this magic happen. What is the URL for TapTag? We'll put that in here. Can you share a website? Yep, we'll put the email in here. I'll do that right now. That I have it right here in front of me. So this is the website that we were just looking at. This is all the stuff on it. It's in the contact box here. Do we have anything bigger? So we do play around actually in this drawer. So essentially how this all started, to give you guys like kind of where I come from, I ran an Etsy store where I have a really fancy laser engraver. I've always been like a laser engraving kind of guy. And it started with an Etsy store. And it started with me engraving just coasters alone. And, I was making custom coasters for people. And from there, I decided to put an NFC chip in the back of it because I thought it would be cool to like link to information or maybe a web or a restaurant menu. This was my big idea, my $1 million idea. I'm going to like sell these to restaurants and have these cool coasters that go to the restaurant menu. And then COVID happened. I was like, oh, this is perfect for my business, contactless sharing for restaurants. That failed miserably. And it was an Etsy store. So next I went to just personalize engraving anything. And it grew enough to the point where I was like, I'm going to create a whole business around this. And I called it Tap Tag, and I started adding products, and I started with the sticky tag, and it went crazy from there. So in the back end of things, the initial question, I could do anything you guys want in terms of engraving. A customer contacted me recently. He was like, I want a puzzle with NFC in it. So I put a board in my laser engraver and cut out puzzle pieces for him with his family's photo etched onto it and made it NFC enabled. Another customer reached out to me and wanted personalized signs. So I have these signs. I have little kickstands I made for him, and these signs sit on his counter. There's an NFC chip inside of it, and a QR on the front is saying tap or scan. And this is for a gun business. You walk into they sell guns, and if you want to sign up for your pistol permit, they just say, hey, tap or scan that code. It's on everybody's counter. They ordered 100 of these from me. This was a custom thing that's not even on the website. So if you have an idea or anything that deals with engraving or cutting out wood with NFC, just let me know and I'll be happy to do it. And the product that makes the most sense, I sometimes add to the website. A customer reached out to me and was like, hey, I don't like this stuck to my phone. I wish you could put it in a business card. And that's why I was like, bingo, like, boom, and put it on my website, made it for them, put it on my website, and there we go. Let's see if there's any more questions I missed in here. If you have any questions, just throw it in the chat and I'll be happy to answer.
You're also able to unmute if somebody has a question. No, Melissa, you have a hand up on that part. You're able to unmute and ask questions as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that you just showed us, the one that he puts on the desk, would you be able to make something like that to put on a window of a vehicle?
A window of a vehicle? Yeah. I could certainly do that. I don't have an exact product for that, but if you give me just some ideas, if you want it made out of wood, out of plastic, out of metal, anything that you want, all I need is a couple ideas. I'm a designer at heart. I went to school for architecture, believe it or not.
Okay.
So any ideas you have, I'll make it happen. It's pretty easy.
Did you just want me to contact you through your website and we could just work on something?
Yeah, just shoot me. Here, I'll send you my email address here in the chat.
Okay.
And then just contact me via email and we'll work on something. We'll work on a price and we'll work on quantity and whatever you need. All you need is 1 or 10 or 20. I could definitely do it.
Yeah, because it would be kind of cool to put something like that on a decal to put like on a car. That way, when they're looking at the car and reading the advertisement, they could just scan it.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a great idea. And the cool thing is it works. NFC works. So a bare NFC chip works from about 3 inches away. If you have a phone case on your phone, for example, that shaves off about a half an inch from that scan radius. But it works through multiple materials. So it works through glass, which blows my mind. It works through everything except metal, which is crazy to me. So plastic, wood. So my coasters that I sell, the chip is under 3/8 of wood, of tiger wood, which is like a hard exotic wood, and it works through it perfectly. So it'll definitely work through a car window. It'll work through anything except like, the trunk, for example, metal. Other than that, it's a really cool technology. It does shave off a little of the scan radius. Like I said, 3 inches when it's bare. Working through glass, it might have to be about 1.5 inches away. But it'll still work, which is really wild. NFC is like the coolest thing ever. It's been around since 2009. Nobody started using it until we started using it for payment in like 2015. Really cool technology. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas that they want to share, I could certainly make it happen for you.
Anybody else have any questions for Tyler?
That's my cat, by the way. His name's Heidi Ho.
So I do have a question.
Sure.
So I'm really thrilled about this, and I'm glad that you guys are doing this training. I got a little confused.
Okay.
I got the card, I got the NFC part. I got a little confused when you were talking about the sites and the that's where you lost me.
Okay, so talking about like, I think I get what you're saying. So just to reiterate, the card holds 40 letters of data. So if you think about like, it holds like a sentence of data. That's how pretty much most NFC chips work. Smartphones can only read NFC currently, and this is Apple, Android, all of them. The best thing to put on a chip is a website URL. So essentially all you're doing is directing them to a website URL. And there's a billion different websites you could do. If you wanted, you could solely put your Instagram account on the card. And that way, when people tap the card, it'll go to your Instagram. Or you could put just your Facebook. Tap the card, it goes just to your Facebook. Or because if you put your Instagram and your Facebook on there together, it probably won't hold that data because your Facebook URL is probably 20 characters and your Instagram URL is probably 20 characters. So that together, now you maxed out the chip. So we need a middleman to, as like a workaround, to get past that data limits of NFC chips. Because like I said, you don't charge them, they'd have no batteries, they only hold a certain amount of data because of this. So it has its pros and cons. So we sacrifice no batteries for very limited amount of data. So the workaround for that, to consolidate your Instagram, Facebook, and say your phone number and email address, which is going to be well over a sentence worth of information, we have to direct to a landing page. So this is how we use the powers of the internet. So Justin's solo.to link, if you want to open that up again, Justin, just so we could show them. That's just a one website link. So that's the equivalent of just sharing your Facebook if you wanted to. It's just one link. It's going to be solo.to/Justin Whitehair. Just hover over that link up top there where it says solo.to all the way up top in your browser, in the middle, solo.to. So that's his link. So that's far less than 40 letters that I was saying before. So now that fits on the card perfectly. However, that little link directs to this plethora of information about Justin, all of his accounts, his social media. So all of this wouldn't fit on the chip itself, but that link fits on the chip, which directs to an infinite amount of information. So this is kind of what we're talking about, where you just make this account. There's a million different sites. This one seems a little bit more complex, but also offers a lot more information for you. The Linktree one I was showing you before, you just copy paste your Facebook and it does it for you. And you copy paste your Instagram and boom, you have your Facebook, Instagram on your page, and that's it. This one, I love solo.to. I've used them in the past. They're really great, but if you're new at it, sometimes it's hard to it's overwhelming to play with that much information. Linktree, all you have to do is sign up with your email address and a password that you make up, and it brings you to a page with just empty boxes, and all you do is paste, your website in the first one, your Facebook in the second one, your Instagram in the third one, and just makes this for you as easy as possible. But the pro and con to this, the pro, it's easy. The con, it's the most basic thing you've ever looked at. Justin's is far more professional and nicer, but I'm sure it's a little bit more of a learning curve to make it and put it together. So this is what we were talking about with just consolidating an infinite amount of information in just one singular link. And there's a million different sites that do this. The other one I showed you earlier in the conversation was called Contact and Bio. That one is highly customizable, but also comes with, it's a little bit harder to use. I have a whole list of a bunch of them. I could put them in the chat here, but personally, I either recommend Linktree or solo.to. And then he's about to show you the Contact and Bio one, which you could add. You can now change the size of your buttons, the color of your buttons. You can put the buttons next to each other or have a full one. You could add a contact thing at the bottom. If Justin keeps scrolling, you can see a contact. You could add your Facebook, Venmo, but this is a little more of a learning curve if you're new at it to understand and put together. Linktree is by far the easiest. And these are all free, by the way. There are usually paid upgrades. I don't know if Justin had that on his because it was very nice. Do you have that, Justin?
So with Solo, I did pay because there was a free version, but I couldn't customize as much. But to be honest with you, cost-wise, I'm paying $12 for the entire year for that.
Yeah,
so
they're all very inexpensive. If you wanted to pay, there's upgraded features. The two you just looked at for Linktree and this one, these are all free contact, or this contact thing. They do have upgrades if you wanted to, which adds a couple more features to it. I'm sure it's very similar to solo.to. But like you said, all of these, if you wanted to pay for all the advanced features, like I know on Linktree, it's like $6 a year or something, and the buttons will wiggle. Like if you wanted to really direct people towards Instagram over the rest of them, the Instagram one will wiggle, and I think it has sparkles too. You know, for $6 a year, you could do that. Solo.to, I'm sure for the $12 a year, you get significantly advanced. Like this is beautiful. This is your own personal website.
And you can see, so with that $12, like he was talking about, this doesn't wiggle with Solo, but if you look at the add to contact, you can see kind of like it's like pulsing.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done on my part as well.
Yeah. So this is just like simple things. And I like Solo because you could add that cover photo, and the professional look of this is just, it's like designing your own website, and it's way easier than designing a website. I'll tell you that. Even though it might be a little bit harder than Linktree, it's way easier than making your own page like this on your own.
So I have a question for Justin.
Sure.
Have you done a training on this Solo and how to set it up?
I have done a training, and I actually have another training with Solo. So just like Tyler's with TapTag, Solo is going to actually be jumping on my Zoom on Wednesday, the 27th at noon Pacific Standard Time. So you're welcome to jump on there. They'll walk you through the inner workings of the back, how do you get started, and what you want to do with it. And Solo, just like Linktree, does have free access to their platform. The only difference is like, I know for the free access, I can't customize, I think, the cover photo. I think that's one of the downfalls. And I liked, for $12, just like Tyler was saying, I don't use my travel website really anymore. This is my new website that I do because I have everything here. And just like we talked about, Disney allows us to customize our page as a Disney thing. This literally links to my customized page with Disney Destinations by Justin's right there.
Nice.
So we will cover that later on, but Tyler was able to jump on earlier this week. We should have done it backwards, but worked out with our schedules and everything where this worked out. But I really like having my tag card because it's a conversation piece. Literally people say, well, do you have a business card? And I'll pull out that business card and they're like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, just, do you have your phone with you? Show me your phone real quick. And it pulls up and they're like, oh, how cool. And now that I have a bio page like this, they can literally add my contact information right into their phone. So now it's not them having to manually enter information off of a paper business card that they probably put in a trade show bag whenever they met me or something, and they lost or they threw it away. So
yeah,
and I like it because it looks so professional.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Tyler.
I love this page. I love this page so much. I didn't even know you had this until you just showed me today. So this is great. I really love Solo.to. I use a bunch of them. Your customers email me all the time, like, what do you recommend? And I just send them, I have a whole like pre-made list that I just like, oh, we like these ones. Solo.to is definitely on it, but I didn't realize it looks like this now. Back when I first found this site 2 years ago, it did not look like this at all. They must have been new.
Well, and what Solo told me as well, just to kind of caveat on that, is the reason that to have some of these features that they actually charge is because unlike some platforms, and I've not used enough to really know, unlike some platforms where they create the platform and that's where they leave it, Solo's constantly updating stuff. So I'll give you an example. When I first started with Solo, they didn't have this add to contact section here. And I said, that's one of the main issues I had with my prior bio page. How can we fix that? And literally I talked to them about it. And within a matter of a day or two, they came back and said, hey, Justin, I think we found a solution for you. Here's what you need to do. And it worked. So I really like that. Same with Tyler. I went to Tyler on a product and I said, hey, I'm having issues that the NFC reader's not working at convention. What am I doing? What's going on? And he's like, well, did you do this? Did you move it, for an Android phone? Did you put it toward the center where the NFC reader is? And I was like, no, I never even knew that. And so that's why I really liked, and I appreciate Tyler jumping on today, is I like working with vendors that I can reach out to and have that conversation with and then work toward the solution. Just like Tyler said, if you don't want the business card, but you want another product, maybe that's something offline that he can discuss with you and get set up for you. I mean, truthfully, I didn't know he could do all that. That's my fault. But with him having the Etsy store and can do some of that stuff, I'm thinking to myself, I might go back to him and say, hey, I want to buy 20 of these items or something to use as marketing tools at a bridal, a bridal show or something like that to market my travel agency.
Yeah. See, I have the same idea, because then if you're at a trade show, you could have that thing where they're scanning it while they're going by, so they could go ahead and just grab it right there.
Yeah, exactly. And like we try to focus on very elegant looking products as well. We don't like to just put it on plastic and stick it there. I really love bamboo. As you can see, my walls are made of wood, so I'm a big wood guy. Metal, bamboo, wood. I have cherry wood. I have tiger wood. I have all this cool stuff that I love just putting in our products because I just think it looks so cool. So it's just something when people are walking by, you know, it's instead of just a regular, you know, vinyl sign like everybody has, have something, you know, unique and cool. Especially laser engraved too, just add some elegance to it too. I love personalizing things so much. That's how I got into laser engraving originally. And then, what Justin was saying, which we never touched on, the Android to Apple. So this is probably the most frustrating thing as running an NFC business, that Apple put their NFC reader in the top of their phones. So if you have an Apple phone and you ever paid for something, you tap the top of your phone to wherever the reader is on the payment device, and that connects. However, Android likes to do everything weird, in my opinion, and they put it in the center back of the phone. So where's my card? So for example, iPhones hold the top of the phone to the card and it works. Android will have to hold it like this to the card and it'll work. The cool thing is, because whoever you're interacting with, they usually know where the NFC reader is. You may not, because you might have an Android your whole life or an Apple your whole life. But the people that own the phone, if you say, hey, I have this NFC card, it reacts via NFC, they usually know, oh, I have an Android, it's the center of my phone. So the user usually knows. Sometimes they don't, especially because Apple Pay is far more popular than Android Pay. So sometimes Android users don't know. But you could tell the second they take out their phone, for the most part, if it's an Android or an Apple. At least I can. I feel like it's pretty easy to determine the two. And from there, you just say and if it doesn't work in the top, safe bet it's the center. It's never the bottom of the phone, so it's either the center or the top. So if it's not working, just move it down. And that's really the only annoying thing. I'm hoping Android changes that soon, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. But that's just something we have to work around, unfortunately.
Awesome. I was one of those people, I did not know where the reader was, and I use Apple Pay. That's the funny thing. I never thought about it. That was a blonde moment for me, I guess you can say. What other questions y'all got for Tyler why he jumped on here and doing this? Any other ideas that y'all have, or any other suggestions maybe to give Tyler to maybe look at for future reference?
Yeah, any feedback from this conversation? I don't actually have these conversations too often with businesses, so this is really cool and this is new for me. So any feedback for me with maybe I should explain this clearer next time, or that clear, or just in general, just let me know.
Well, for me, I'm a little techie, so that's why I got a little confused.
Okay.
And so the reason why I asked the question I asked is because for a person who doesn't know that they need to go through a different website, you're saying it can only hurt excuse me. The chip can only hold so many characters in the URL, which is, I get. It can only hold 40. I get that part. But when you say website, my automatically thought is, okay, your built website, not necessarily a website that can hold. You could do the website, but also another website that it could hold.
Yeah.
And that's where I got a little confused on that.
Gotcha.
So that's where my feedback was to that. So that's why I was asking the question on that, because I was like, well, I don't have a website.
Right.
I mean, I have a Facebook, but not an actual website.
Gotcha. So. I appreciate that feedback. And I definitely see where you're coming from. On our how to program page, where it like breaks down the directions, we have like these cool boxes where it says like, what do you want to program? Do you want to program like your website? And if you don't have a website, it'd be like, okay, no. The next one would be like a custom landing page and it shows you examples and stuff like that. But I definitely get where you're coming from. And I've had that feedback before. So we try to, believe it or not, I'm in talks with an app developer to develop our own website to make like my own solo.to essentially. However, like, believe it or not, developing apps is like way over expensive these days. As like a business owner, it blows my mind. Like that simple solo.to app probably costs like $50,000, just so everybody knows. Like it's not cheap at all. So we're in talks figuring out the best way to possibly do this. Because we don't like referring to other businesses. I mean, as much as it's nice and it's good for them, we could have something on our own to make you not have to go to another website. Because The biggest issue is if Justin has a problem with solo.to, he has to reach out to them and have a whole separate conference with them that I can't control at all. I could refer them all I want, but if he's locked out of his account, I just have to say, well, sorry, like you got to contact them. And it's not what I want to do, as a business owner. I want to be able to control it myself.
I would suggest something if you can look into, since you're talking to the app developer, even if you don't do the full app, I wonder if there's a cheaper cost where you could do a V card. So you just had the information saved in, because that would at least save that. I don't know if it's possible. I'm not a tech person on that, obviously.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm looking into. Because solo.to, that's evolved over time. Like what we were saying 2 years ago, it didn't look like that at all.
Right.
And same with a couple other sites. They're evolving like crazy. So here I am trying to enter the market, and it's like anything I make is going to be way less than them, because I'm 2 or 3 years behind. But yeah, I agree. If I come up with maybe something simple where I could still refer different websites, but at least I'll have something of my own to say, like, well, that's too hard. Here's the most simple version of it, which is just like a V card.
Yep.
You're right. I think that would be a great idea.
One of the questions that just came through the chat, and I know for myself, I can tell you turnaround time for a card. I ordered mine. I had it because to me, the cost of the business card was very reasonable, especially because I know they're running promotions and different things. So I think I ordered mine to be overnight because I wanted to make sure I got it. And the first one I ordered was overnight. And I don't remember how much I paid. It wasn't that much, but mine literally came. It was the next day. And I know Tyler, I talked to him previously, and I think I got another card in 4 to 5 days, I think was the typical, but you might speak on that.
So this is the best part about my business. I can't believe I didn't mention this at all. I make everything the day of, essentially, in terms of shipping it out. If you were to, I ship every day at 3 o'clock. So after this phone call, I'm taking all the orders to the post office. So if you were to order something, it takes me about an hour to 2 hours to do, 1 to 10 cards for the most part. So if you at 11 o'clock this morning say I want 10 cards for my business, I would have it shipped today at 3 o'clock for sure. So a very fast turnaround. I take pride in just getting things out the door as fast as possible. Obviously, I spend a lot of time and care on it. I'm really good at what I do now. I'm a perfectionist. So I manually inspect all the cards. I manually program all the cards myself. Nothing leaves my office without me physically seeing it. I ship it on a website. I don't know if you saw my website before. Up top, it says your order will ship in, at the time, Justin, it said an hour because it was 2 o'clock at the time when we started this call. If you had ordered at 2 o'clock and I wasn't on this call, I would have it done for sure. Free shipping, we ship free to the US. That takes about 5 to 7 days. It is tracked. It depends on how close to New York you are. I'm in New York. So if you're in Pennsylvania, it'll probably take 2 days. But if you're in California, it's usually closer to like 6 or 7 days. There are paid options for $8. It's 3-day shipping. So you could have it, today's Monday, you would have it by Thursday if you order today. And there's overnight as well, which is $26. But like I said, it's free shipping if you want to if you don't mind waiting for 5 days. That's that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tyler, again for jumping on. I'm sure we'll definitely be in talks in the future and maybe even do another training.
Just one more that popped through here. Those who forgot their phone or have it on them. So this is what I was saying. Like you could technically, if you save that link in your phone, like Justin did, he just pasted it in his browser right there. You could put that in your email signature. You can just text it to somebody if you want. The cool thing with our cards is it just has that icebreaker effect, and it's a personalized feel and touch to something that we're used to giving away. It's a more prestigious way of feeling because it's very thick. You can't even really bend it. Like you could probably really bend it if you put a lot of force into it, but generally it's a thick metal like card. But that link you could just text and send to anybody that you want. Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
I was about to say, and for those issues, I still have my other business cards. So I'll keep like 2 or 3 in my wallet just to carry around with me. But I very rarely would give those out. I think those would be the only times that I would have that. So I would just order a lower quantity of those. And I don't have to worry about, the good thing is with NFC, if I don't do the QR code on some of these, then if something changes with my website, because we all talked about before ordering business cards, make sure you know what company name, make sure you know all that stuff, because you won't be able to change it. With this, if you used a bio page or something, you can change all that stuff. So I would still probably keep a few business cards in your wallet, but think about it now. If you go to a convention, can you keep a whole stack of business cards on your pocket as a guy? As a girl, you usually have a purse or something, but as a guy, I can't keep a whole stack of business cards, on me half the time. So I love being able to do the metal card for the most part. So, but again, I really appreciate, Tyler, you taking the time. I know, like you said, this was not normal. And I was absolutely, grateful whenever you said that you would be more than happy to jump on. And I think this has really helped out. So definitely appreciate it.
Of course. Anytime, guys. If you have any questions or anything, I put my email. Let me throw it in here just one last time. This is my email. If you have any questions or anything, just shoot me a email. Questions about anything, you just want to talk NFC or your favorite type of coffee or anything, whatever, just shoot me an email. And I'm always down to talk with you or answer questions, or even if you want to do a personalized call with just me and you, anything that you guys need, I'm always free.
Yeah. So if y'all need anything on that part too, and for some reason, because I don't see your email on my end. I don't know if it went to a person directly or if it may be a wife.
Oh, maybe that's why. Let me see that. You're right. It went to Delilah won the competition. She's the only one that got my email. Let me see.
And if anybody has issues reaching out to him in the future, y'all have me in a lot of the chats and stuff. So feel free to reach out to me as well. And I can get you in contact with him as well.
All right. Tap tag shop. Okay.
What I'll do is I'll leave this up for just a little bit. He just sent it in there. So I'll leave it up for just a little bit so y'all can get that. But thank you all again for joining. We'll go ahead and close it out. Thank you again, Tyler. We'll definitely be in talks. I'm sure you'll come up with some other great products for us to use in the future, and hope everybody has a great week.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for taking the time to jump on the call today.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.